Hi guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make a minion out of polymer clay. And so you'll basically just need blue, yellow, white, black, and maybe some tannish brown colors. And you can mix your own if you need anything else, like gray or silver. So yeah. I used Primo and Sculpey, and basically for the body and the pants, I just rolled out some clay. And then I flattened one end, and then I kind of like rolled the other end like I'm rolling a ball of clay. And you want to make sure both are the same width, and then you just trim the edges and place them together like this. And make sure they're very smooth so that they are a clean fit for each other. After that, you're going to take a tool and you're going to poke little holes in it like so. And this will hold your liquid Sculpey so that you can glue the pieces together. I just find that they don't fall apart as easily if you do that. So yeah. Okay, so the arms and the gloves, I just kind of rolled out the arms and gloves with the same color on them. I probably shouldn't have, but yeah. And then I took a tool to make the little fingers and just made indentations. To cover up the little mess up that I did, I just did like a black roll around the edge of the glove, and it covered up like bleeding into the colors because that didn't work out as I had planned. So I don't suggest rolling out the arms the way I did it, but definitely use a little indentation tool to get the fingers. It worked really well. Alright, and after you have the arms, you can stick them to the body with your liquid Sculpey, like so, and then just blend it into the body. So this makes it more smooth, and you can just get a feel that it's like actually part of the figure, you know what I mean? So yeah. And after you do that, you can do your finishing touches, touch up the fingers, or anything you really want. And if you still don't like certain things, I mean, you can paint over it later too, so it's okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out a flat sheet of blue, and I'm going to cut the shape of the front of the overalls. Because if you look at a minion, you can kind of tell that like the front kind of comes up off the pants a little bit, like the hem and everything. And I kind of wanted that like 3D look to my clothing, and so what I did was I took this and then I just plastered it down. And I used a little bit of liquid Sculpey just in case it came off, but you don't really have to because you can just blend it into the fabric like so, or the clay, you know, but yeah. And so this gave me that like wrinkled hem on the side, and I'm just exaggerating it a little more while trying to get it to stick to the body better. And then I just did a couple little wrinkles in the actual clay too to make it look like fabric. Now you can take a tool and straighten up the edges and everything after that, and then you make your straps. So to get a nice uniform strap, I just rolled out a long thing of polymer clay and flattened it, and then I just blended it in with the overalls once it was stuck to the body. So yeah. And after you do that, you will have your beautiful little overalls. How fun! So the next step, as you can see, we are going to make the pant legs with the boots attached to them. Now minions don't really have that long of legs, and so this step is actually very simple. You just cut like a half spherish oval thing for the boot, and you attach it to like a little half spherish oval thing for the leg, kind of like how you did the body and the overalls, but a smaller version, same concept. Take your liquid Sculpey and boom, you stick them together. Again, you'll notice I used the dotting tool before I put the liquid Sculpey on. I just personally have been taught to do that in my art classes in high school. So you can do that if you wish to do so. I would recommend it because I think it works good. Alright, so after you smooth everything, just double check to make sure everything is the same size or how you like it, and then that's that. Alright, now I'm flattening a white circle, and I'm going to just take a Sharpie cap to get a perfect circle. Boom, as you can see, and then there's your eye. Pretty simple. So after that, again, going to check on the body, make sure it's still in proportion, and then stick the eye on. I would recommend liquid Sculpey for this, but you don't have to. I don't think like the smaller pieces are as big of a deal unless it's like legs or something that could easily break off and catch on something. So yeah. Alright, so make sure it's smooth, and I would blend the edges into the body just to make sure it sticks. We are going to be sticking more components onto this later, so yeah. Anyway, I did find that like working on the middle of the eye with like the pupil and the iris was really hard because it was so small. So I would almost recommend you just paint that part. I'll show you that later, but I will rant about it now. So yeah. But what we can first do is just do the strap to the goggles because it's just easier to get that part down before you add all the little trinkets to the goggle itself. So just roll out a piece and cut it into a long rectangle, and mine was a bit small, but I kind of like stretched it as it went, and so I could cut it at the end like that. It worked out really well, and I did not use liquid Sculpey for that part. I just wrapped it around, honestly. So, yeah. The next part, I mixed white and black, and I made my own gray because I didn't have gray, and I just didn't think it would be worth buying a big square of gray just to do this piece. And so, that's that. Wrap it around and cut it. It doesn't need to be like super flat because the roll is so small that it just kind of blended into the goggles itself anyway. But you can touch up all the edges because, yeah, take advantage of your tools. Okay, so the next step is we can roll a long thin line and trim it to whatever size you desire to make whatever mouth shape you desire. I decided that I wanted a happy little minion, and so that's what I did. And you just shape it as you go. Definitely use a tool for this part because it's like, I don't know, it was like so thin that like when I tried to use my fingers, it just didn't really go where I wanted it to. And so, yeah, I just used a bunch of little tools and got that there, and then boom, did the eye piece, and I cut out all the times I struggled to make that itty bitty sphere and flatten it because it was just frustrating, but that just saved a little bit of time there, but that is that. And so here he is, and we put him in the oven, and he is out now. So I'm taking white acrylic paint and painting glares on the eye. And then I'm just kind of brushing the overalls with a little bit of white just to make it look old. And then of course, here's the little logo thing on his overalls. And you can paint that if you wish to. You could make it out of clay if you wanted, but I think that would be really hard and frustrating. So yeah. I mean, honestly, you don't even need to include this piece because it's like so small, but I wanted mine to look as much like a minion as possible. So yeah. Okay. When I did this one, I couldn't really like find my chalk pastels, and so I decided to use a blue ballpoint pen to do shading on my overalls. You don't have to use a pen if you don't want to. I think that the result did turn out really nice, but I probably would have liked it better if I would have used chalk pastels. So if you have those, just brush those on, but if not, you can use a ballpoint pen, and it actually works out really well. So yeah. Just if you use anything like this, make sure you glaze over it. And you can use the chalk pastel before you put it in the oven, but it's up to you. I'm glazing it now, and all of this stuff you can get at Michael's in the clay aisle, like the glaze and the liquid Sculpey. But yeah. Anyway, I just do want to say something about baking it. Make sure that whatever your brand you're using, or if you're using multiple brands, read the directions on your packet for like how long you're supposed to put it in the oven and bake it, and for what temperature, because that does matter. And so yeah, I use Primo and Sculpey. You can find those at Michael's, and it's pretty nice. So anyway, this is it. This is the finished product, and nothing broke when I baked it, so that was great, and it turned out good. So thank you for watching, and come back soon for another video. I might start doing 2 a week. Who knows? Alrighty. Well, have a good day.